The German archaeologists from Kiel were investigating close by the site, and they discovered in the cultural layers 6,000 to 7,000 years before present a nice ceramic pyramid, four-sided pyramid, plateau on the top. Even the ornaments were pyramids. Now, this is an artistic product. We know that because they are very fine ceramic walls. So, according to them, 6,500 years old. Well, that can be artistic product. That's the first option. The second one, that even during those times, thousands of tourists were coming to Bosnia, so this was the first Bosnian souvenir.
Made in China.
One of the sites, 3.5 feet below the layers of soil on the pavement, we found this beautiful sandstone foot with the 5 toes. Now, it matches the shoe size of number 8. Number 8 is a women's size, it's not man's size. But for some, it is a proof that Bosnian pyramids were built by the women. A lot more pieces like this one that perfectly fits in the hand. Maybe this was the first Bosnian boomerang. Interesting sandstone pieces with the ridges in the probably part of the bigger, larger object. Looks like a knife. Ceramics. We can see several cultural layers on our sites. Beautiful piece with the 2 different types of stones, maybe amulet found on the Bosnian Pyramid of the Dragon. 2008 we organized the first international scientific conference on Bosnian pyramids. 55 scientists from 15 countries, from Egypt, China, Saudi, from Poland, Russia, UK, Austria, Croatia, Bosnia. Those scientists concluded that the Bosnian pyramids were archaeological site, not geological, not natural. Unfortunately, it's 2008. The boycott of the project in the media already started. In 2006, when we discovered those first concrete blocks, Associated Press sent their journalists in Sarajevo. They took the photos, they sent the word to the world saying that the first proofs of Bosnian pyramids were unearthed. Of course, it was Associated Press. Everybody took the news, from CNN, ABC, all the magazines and newspapers. The very next day, American Archaeological Society wrote a letter to Associated Press headquarters in New York, asking them not to write about the Bosnian pyramids because they are fake, they are all natural. From their headquarters, they are sending email to their journalists in Sarajevo, threatening that lady not to write about the pyramids anymore. The same things happened to France Press and Reuters. And from that day on, we were not in the mainstream media anymore. So this gathering, which would otherwise be all over the planet, nobody mentioned a word about them. But independent scholars, like triple PhD from Egypt, Dr. Nabil Selam, the guy who discovered 4 pyramids in Egypt. They were coming 2 seasons, and they were saying that the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun is the biggest in the world. Until he was threatened that he is going to lose his retirement. Dr. Ezra Zubrov of Buffalo State University, archaeologist, he visited the site. He gave an interviews for TVs, magazines, saying that you need to find out who built the Bosnian pyramids, when they were built. He was very impressed. We put his statement on YouTube. Came back to States. His colleagues attacked him. And then he disassociated himself from the project, saying, I didn't say that. I didn't really mean that. 2011, September, 27 scientists, the second international scientific conference, independent scholars from several scientific disciplines concluded this is a globally important project. Those pyramids will change our human history because of the age and its existence. So, after 5 years of investigation, we got proof that this is indeed construction complex. Now, we don't intend to spend another 100 years trying to convince everyone that we have pyramids in Bosnia. We need to move on. We need to find out what was the purpose of those pyramids. Archaeologists cannot help us anymore. Geologists also. Construction engineers are architects, not anymore. We need help from experts on energy phenomena. Physicist, electrical engineer. Dr. Mizrak from Zagreb, Croatia, PhD in physics, came with his team and the instruments, and he was measuring the frequencies, electromagnetic fields, in the range of hertz, kilohertz, megahertz, gigahertz. He was checking the valley first, the natural hills, and then the pyramids. He was going around the pyramid of the sun. He could not find any anomaly until he got on the very top of the pyramid. At the center of the plateau, the radius of 13 feet, when he got in there, he was able to detect electromagnetic field. He got out of the circle, no detection. He goes back, he detects this energy phenomena. What does it mean? It means that electromagnetic field does not go left and right, but it goes up. He measured the strength of 28 kilohertz. That's something that Mother Nature does not make. It's produced by machine. These results were independently confirmed by the Serbian engineer Goran Marjanovic, who did confirm this frequency of 28 kilohertz on the top of the Sun Pyramid. So, the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun is not just a construction, but it also generates this focused energy beam going through the very top of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. Not to the left, not to the right, just through the very top. Now, we wanted to see the strength of the signal. So we placed our instruments on the top, on the surface. And then we lifted it up for 10 feet. And then we lifted it for another 10 feet. Every time we went up, the strength of the signal was getting stronger and stronger. So now, physicists could not believe their eyes. They said, well, in physics, natural laws, and our technology, which we called Hertzian technology, we learned about the phenomena when you are closer to the source, the signal is stronger. You move away, the signal is weaker. But here in Bosnia, everything is different. So we have something that we can call non-Hertzian phenomena or non-Hertzian technology. We don't have that technology in the 21st century. However, the guy who was born 150 miles from here to the west was experimenting with that type of technology, 1899 and 1900. And his name was Nikola Tesla. In his lab in Colorado Springs, he constructed what is today known as Tesla's coil. He was producing the energy beam, and he was able to send it wirelessly from one end of his lab to another one, 55 feet away. And he was able to lit up the light bulbs, even if they were burned, with this type of energy. And just before they are going to burn down his lab, he did the last experiment. He sent the energy beam to the ionosphere around our planet, the energy shield. It got reflected, it was coming back much stronger, non-Hertzian phenomena. And then he was able to lit up all 20,000 homes in Colorado Springs, proving that the free energy was possible. Unlimited quantities of energy. Wireless transportation. And you were not losing the energy during the day, but you are getting more energy. Now, 110 years ago, was the corporation accepted that invention? Of course not. What they were going to do with the free energy? Who they going to sell the free energy? What is our society based on? Profit. How are you going to make profit with free energy? So for them it was much more profitable to build very expensive hydro power plants, thermal power plants, nowadays nuclear power plants. But with the free energy, you would get the first pillar of the free society. And the second pillar is the free flow of knowledge, of information. With those two pillars, you have a base for free women and free men. Professor Paolo De Bertolis, University of Trieste, Italy. He was detecting and measuring other energy phenomena on the top of the Bosnian pyramid of the sun. This time it was ultrasound. Ultrasound is the vibrational phenomena. We can hear in the range from 20 Hz to 20 kHz. Everything above 20 kHz is called ultrasound. We cannot hear, but it does exist. Everything below 20 Hz is called infrasound. We cannot hear, it does exist. Our planet vibrates at 6 Hz. The pyramid vibrates at 7 Hz. And the ultrasound, we were able to detect and measure the ultrasound in a range from 28 to 32 kHz. So, he did detect it with what he called compounder. And then he converted it to something that we can hear. 8 kHz. So, for the first time, we will be able to hear how one pyramid speaks. Looks like somebody was trying to send a fax. Or they were sending us some other messages. Now, we converted this signal to the piano tunes. So let's see how it would look like on piano. That was 2011. And then we are doing more recording, 2012, March and April. And this will be the new recording. Some of you who were at my previous presentation in Dallas did not hear this. So again, we recorded what we now called the ultrasound beam. We also noticed that with the weather, this ultrasound beam gets a little bit different during the winter and during the summer. As you can see, in Bosnia, it's so different that our pyramids speak, play piano, send faxes, send messages. These are the instruments that we used.
What did it say? It's possible to translate. Oh, what did it say? The slide before?
Well, it says that we just changed the instrumentation from 2011 to 2012. What we did, we used the mics directly. We just cleaned from the other sounds. Okay, I'll move. Now, what we notice on this illustration, we can see graphically how the ultrasound is produced, and we can see 5 blocks, and they are very regular. So it's seen that it is continuous and regular. When you have something like that, it has to be produced by the machine. So this is the regularity of those blocks. Now, we have checked the hills in the area of Visoko, and that regularity we could not find anywhere. And then what we did, we compared it with the hills or mountains that are pyramidal in shape, like the one over here. It's called Monte Pavione in Italy. It has clear pyramidal shape. So we did record the sound, and again, no regularity. So this is another very strong proof that we have something artificial in origin, but not only that, it produces certain energy phenomena very regularly. Right? So the teams of independent scholars from Finland, from Italy, from Croatia, from Greece and other countries keep coming to Bosnia investigating those phenomena. Because ultrasound is extremely important. One of the people who realized that was Dr. Royal Rife. In 1931, he invented the microscope. And for the first time, someone was able to see live viruses. This is the structure of the viruses. Incidentally, they have a shape of pyramid. Now, of course, the microbes, that includes viruses and bacteria and some bad cells, organisms, they are the base of all our diseases, including cancer. Now, Dr. Rife not only invented the microscope, but also he invented the machine to produce the ultrasound. And then he was checking the effects of different frequencies on viruses. And then he was able to find the frequency that kills viruses and do no harm on our body. In 1934, he challenged the leading medical authorities in the US, and they sent him, 25 of them, doctors, PhDs from different cities in the US. They sent him 50 terminally ill patients from cancer. They came to his lab. He exposed them to his machine. In 2 weeks, 86% of them were cured. The remaining 40%, he was playing some more with different frequencies. And very soon, the success rate was 100%. Those doctors could not believe, but they were direct witness to the experiment. Soon after, American Medical Association is coming to Rife's lab, and he received an offer he could not refuse. But he did refuse it. Millions of dollars at that time for his machines. After his refusal, somehow his lab got burned down and his 5 machines were stolen. In a few years, by 1939, his work was banned. It was illegal. So he died very unhappy man. And even today, when you find the companies who start producing those instruments that produce ultrasound, and even when they figure out the exact frequencies that kill the fungus, that kill bacteria and viruses, that kill worms, that kill ticks and parasites, they are banned and proclaimed illegal in Europe and the US. Now, from the last time, from 3 weeks ago, I told you that we are going to do an experiment on the top of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. Now, we have recorded that the pyramid produces electromagnetic fields and the ultrasound. So we wanted to see what's going to happen when we produce and emit those fields to the pyramid. And that's exactly what happened. We brought about 600 pounds of equipment, installed it on the top of the Sun pyramid, emit to the pyramids electromagnetic fields of the same frequency that the pyramid was producing, and the ultrasound of the same frequency that the pyramid was producing. We wanted to see the reaction. Now, since we knew the strength of the signal that was coming from the pyramid, we were able to calculate the signal we're going to go get back from the pyramid. In the strength, it would be like 0.9 volts. For 2 days, or exactly 54 hours, we were emitting the signals, we were recording everything. And the first preliminary results are telling us that the pyramid talked back to us. Over 3 times stronger than what we expected. So the pyramid is not a natural formation, but it is not a machine either. Preliminary results are telling us that the pyramid talked back to us. Over 3 times stronger than what we expected. So the pyramid is not a natural formation, but it is not a machine either, because with machines you know what you can get back. So what is the pyramid? Does it have its own conscience? The height of the pyramid in meters, 767. However, when we draw the line following the slope on both sides, we are getting the virtual top of the pyramid, 782 meters, or about 2,400 feet, which is exactly the same length as the secondary wire in a case of Tesla's coil. The lengths are extremely important because they affect the frequency. So that particular frequency produced by the pyramid could be produced only with this height. We asked our friend Klaus Donner, the Austrian researcher, to help us figure out what we have inside the pyramid. A friend of his, the US physicist who developed this georadar system, and which at this moment is not commercially available. It is used only by US military. By the way, it was used when they were looking for Saddam Hussein in those underground bunkers. Well, he checked our Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. This is north and this is east. Those different colored lines are showing the tunnels on different levels. For example, the light blue at 5 meters or about 17 feet depth. This is light blue, so this is a tunnel. At the end, the circle is a chamber. White, 10 meter depth or 33 feet. Here's white. The tunnels, the tunnels, the tunnels, and look how many chambers. Blue, 40 meter depth, 135 feet. Here's our blue. Brown, 230 feet. Here's brown. Yellow, almost 500 feet below the top. Here's yellow. Black, 600 feet. Red, 1,000 feet. So now we can see a huge network, different levels. But then also, look at here. We have black, then blue is moved a little bit, then white is moved a little bit, then red is moved a little bit. It's like a spiral. Now spiral is very important because when you have a spiral, then you have a base for your non-Hertzian spiral waves. In other words, the pyramid is a huge machine, and obviously more than that, capable of producing different energy phenomena. Now, it's not only Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun that is still active today. The Kukulkan Pyramid in Chichen Itza, 3 years ago, the tourist from El Salvador, while filming his kids on digital camera, he was able to make the photo of the energy beam coming to the center of the Kukulkan Pyramid. And Dr. D.J. Nelson, 3 years ago, made a replica of Great Pyramid of Egypt and placed a Tesla's coil inside. And soon after, the spiral non-Hertzian energy beam was produced. So, what is the purpose of the pyramids? Pyramids have nothing to do with the pharaohs and tombs. They are the most complex machines that in some cases work independently ever built on the face of the planet. And once you hear so many different things, pyramids are not pharaonic tombs, they're all over the planet, so many different things and data, it's a whole mess in our heads. So how we can handle that? Well, there are 3 magic words that can help us. Buy this book. Because by this book, you help to support the project. And I will finish with a complex below the ground, with the Bosnian underground. Not political, but archaeological. 1.5 miles from the pyramid, we discovered the entrance to the underground labyrinth. 700 yards have been cleaned. This is a map of what we cleaned and secured so far for the tourists. The tunnels are built in material we called conglomerate. It's tens of miles in length. Okay? Under the conglomerate, we are finding a huge blocks. This is 2006. Okay? 2012, completely cleaned. It's 18,000 pounds in weight. It's sitting on those plates, on support. Those plates are very important. It means somebody placed those plates, they put the megalith on the top of it, and they even connect them with the binding material based on calcium carbonate. They did not want this block to move left or right. Why? We know why. 70 meters below is underground water stream. So this block is exactly above that underground river. Then, when you look at the surface, it looks like relief, with the hills and the valleys and the rivers. We took samples from the top of it, sent to the Institute for Atomic Physics in Croatia. They applied very sophisticated analysis, random diffraction and phase analysis, concluding that this was an artificial ceramic material. Now, in archaeology, we got used to ceramic dishes, small ceramic vases, but here in Bosnia, everything is big and bigger. The biggest pyramids, and now we have the biggest ceramic sculpture of 18,000 pounds. We have checked with the georadar instruments if there was anything inside this block or under. And we concluded that exactly in the middle there was an oval object. Somebody poured the base, placed the object, and sealed everything with this cover. So, what do we have? 70 feet below, underground water stream. Water generates the energy. The energy hits this oval object, it starts working, it is surrounded by ceramic, ceramic vibrates and produces electromagnetic field. So what we are looking here is the ancient technology. And those fields we can measure using our scientific instruments, and again the frequency 28 to 32 kilohertz, very important for the ancient builders.
Is all this in your book?
Yes. We are finding several of those megaliths. They are always above the underground water streams, and they are always producing these electromagnetic fields, filling the tunnel network. 2006, we discovered another megalith. We call it K1, covered by conglomerate. We removed the conglomerate. It is 9,000 pounds. On its surface, we are finding symbols, carved, more symbols, and more symbols. Total of 25 symbols. I wouldn't say that this is alphabet, but some type of energy symbols. Oops, in mainstream archaeology, that term does not exist yet. More plates, more symbols. And on one of them, symbols are very similar to the runic writing. Runes. That's the oldest European writings. As a matter of fact, we located 7 symbols that are exactly the same, like runes. So far we have one try to decipher it. It is based on Ralph Blunt's book, The Book of Runes. And deciphering is saying, gate is closed. We are on standstill. We will have to fight to defense and conquer until we are able to go through the gate. Everything we do, we need a scientific confirmation from several independent sources. Right now, this is one. The tunnels are tens of miles in length. Somebody had to remove hundreds of thousands of tons of material. What material? Conglomerate. Pebbles, rocks, sand. Pebbles, rocks, sand. What did they do with the hundreds of thousands of tons of materials? They built the concrete blocks to cover the largest pyramid on the planet. So they used every cubic feet of the material. All they needed was binding material, the clay. So by using all this material, they became the first eco-friendly civilization. We have 2 mysteries in the tunnels. First, who built this network? Tens of miles in length, 70 feet below the surface. Obviously somebody with very advanced engineering skills. But second, we can see that all those tunnels are closed. Somebody was bringing hundreds of thousands of tons of material back, filling in those tunnels, and millions of these rocks, probably from riverbeds, making those dry walls, sealing everything off. They wanted to hide something real big. Another example of side tunnel, filling material, dry wall. Now, in that filling material, we can find organic material, which can tell us when did they close all these tunnels. We checked organic material in several labs in Sweden, in Poland, and we are getting 4,610 years. So, the tunnel network was built the same time as the pyramids, over 12,000 years ago. But they were sealed almost 5,000 years ago. 2 different civilizations. In those filling material, we are finding a lot of artifacts, like this passable hammer, concrete, man-made concrete, ceramics, open containers, interesting piece with the hole here. Maybe they were sharpening the pencils. One of the plates, we are finding a lot of carvings with a lot of different symbols. This one is interesting, with the 5 individually shaped pieces glued together. More containers. And the molds to cast the metal. We analyzed this material, 3 different types of metals, and we never used this combination in the 21st century. The dry walls, very interesting. A lot of rocks around it, but exactly in the middle, vertically and horizontally, one rectangular plate. Okay. 2010, we discovered the first underground chamber full of the filling material. They removed everything. This chamber is 500 square feet, 13 feet in height, with 8 inside tunnels. We notice that the people, when they get inside, they feel good. This chamber is approximately 700 feet from the entrance. So you're going through tunnels, the air is perfect, air circulation excellent. You get there, if you had some small pain, headache for example, headache is gone. You had back pain, it's gone. We even heard for some, I would say, miracles, which we don't promote at this time. We want to do more medical studies. But we wanted to see why people feel good inside. So we measured the concentration of negative ions. As you know, negative ions kill bacteria and viruses. They clean our blood and our body. At the entrance of tunnels, the concentration of the negative ions, 1,000 kiloions per cubic centimeter. In this room tonight, about 300 kiloions. In that chamber, 43,000. 100 times higher than what we have here now. 100 times healthier than what we have here. Was somebody building an underground healing facility? Second chamber, 13 feet high. We measure the air circulation, humidity, temperature, no poisonous gases, perfect circulation. The first underground blue lake discovered two years ago. The third chamber, we were cleaning one of the tunnels and we saw the hole. For the first time in 6 years, there was no filling material behind, meaning there are open sections. So when one thinks, what is the biggest reward for the researcher? It's not the money, it's not the title, it's not the position. It's the moment like this, when you got the opportunity to go somewhere where for thousands of years human foot has not been. We discovered to the left about 250 feet of open tunnels and to the right about 700 feet. A lot of new walls. And usually we have different beings that follow us, that keep us a company. Like this orb, the light being is between the camera and the tool. It's about 2 foot radius. Perfectly rounded. Now, we're looking for another reason why it's so healthy environment underground. As you know, we are always exposed to the cosmic negative radiations. Right now, right here, some of those rays that are coming from the cosmos, they are very bad and very harmful. And our body cells are fighting those harmful radiations. There are Hartmann grids, most of you know for them. They go east, west, north, south, the places where they intersect, very bad for us. That's the reason why when they were building temples in Sumer and Babylon, they would put those stone columns exactly at the intersection of Hartmann grids, so people don't get exposed to the negative radiations. Underground water always generates energy, but negative energy for our bodies. Then there is underground natural negative radioactivity. So our body cells are very busy fighting those enemies. Well, we measured with the instrument the presence of negative radiations in the tunnels, and we found none. So, what does that mean? It means that our body cells can start doing their job. What is their job? We will see. The youngest volunteer last year, 73 years old engineer Janez Belko from Slovenia, came to the valley with his instruments to measure the aura, the bioenergy field around our body. This instrument is based on Professor Korotkov's from University of St. Petersburg in Russia. You place all your 10 fingers and they give you individual auras. That gives you the aura around your body, these blue protective shields. Now, if it is continuous, it means you are healthy. If there is interruptions, like this is me before I enter the tunnel, you can see the left side is good, continuous, the right side good, oops. By the knees, we can see that the piece is missing, the piece of protective shield, the piece of aura. It means there is a potential problem. Now, in this particular case, potential problem with the blood circulation. The rest of it, not bad, not bad. Here, the chest, also potential problem. The red means a lot of stress. Spent 1.5 hours, came back and measured it again. Left side good, right side, oops, look at the knee. Completely healed. Even the chest, much better. The red is moved away. So, it seems when you are inside the tunnel, when we don't have those enemies, the negative radiations, the cells start communicating among themselves and they start fixing the problems in the body. They start the self-regeneration process. 7 chakras, human body. Blue before, red after. It seems that even chakras, after the visit to the tunnel, works better. They get more energy. So the energy flows better through the chakras. What we did a study of 79 people, male, female, old, young, volunteers, tourists. Brown is before, green is after they came back from the tunnel. Brown before, green is higher. Brown before, green is higher. Brown, green, brown, green. 85% of cases are showing us that the aura is improved. And the improvement is from 10 to 40%. The biggest improvement was in the case of one young man from Croatia. And we told him what we were doing. The rest of them, we never told, what the experiment was about. So that young man went inside by that megalith K2. He went there, relaxed, he was meditating for 2 hours, he came back, and his improvement was the biggest. Left before, right after. We can even see that the aura is better distributed, more evenly distributed after you come back from the tunnel. The new sections, walls are 40-50 feet in length. A lot of water. Now, this is still water. It's been there for a very long time. It's not from the surface. Now, you would imagine that if the water is there for a very long time, it would be filthy. So we took samples and sent them to the Institute for Public Health. Did chemical and microbiological analysis. The results, the water was perfectly clean, healthy, and drinkable. How is that possible? Because of high concentration of negative ions. They are like barriers for the viruses and bacteria. We can even see the channels that the builders made, because the channels make the water move. When the water moves, it produces more negative ions. The water is reaching 5.5 feet on some places, creating artificial water accumulation. The last summer we did the last experiment with the georadar. We checked about 2,000 feet of those tunnels. We wanted to see if there is anything underground. And 300 feet from the entrance, we found out that about 3 foot below the surface, this yellowish surface, there was a structure starting here, and the structure has the shape of a diamond. This is like one chamber, and then there is a second chamber, and then most probably starting 13 feet, the third one. So when we added the depth, this is how it should look like. The first one, the second one. What do they represent? Well, we will learn this summer, because we're going to be digging right here. So on those flyers, you can find our website address with the daily news, so you can follow the progress, unless you come to Bosnia this summer. Now, what we can see in today's world is that mainstream science lacks creativity, lacks imagination, because they rely exclusively on our 5 physical senses. On the other hand, the spiritual science lacks scientific protocols, scientific methodology. They need to be verified. The future is in combining the two, the spiritual and material science. A year and a half ago, I made an experiment with the 6 Akashic record readers. Well, for 150 years, there is a notion that in the spiritual realm exists spiritual library. And if you can tap that vast knowledge, if you can access the library, you can get the information about our past and our future. Reader number 1, Nancy, she said they used the material from the tunnels to build the pyramids. We confirm that. There was ecology to it. Exactly. Catacomb feeling. There is a round center with different tunnels radiating out. You can find different passages. There is a chamber in the center that is more of an open space. Reader number 2. Beneath the pyramids are tunnels. They are talking about water. They did get a lot of other resources from under the ground. One of the purposes for the tunnels was for the chosen ones to go from one tunnel to another. They were working with the energy. Only certain people could travel into pyramids or through these tunnels. Reader number 3. There are tunnels that are intentionally filled with rocks and stuff to keep people from getting inside. There is a very deep cavern under there that connects to a cavern system under the earth. There are beings that could get up in there, but they don't go there for some reason. Okay. Reader number 4. I see beings walking into the tunnels. Down deep is where they actually lived. When you get down deep, it is not going to look like that. So, as you go deeper, it will look more structured, more built, rooms, technological appearance to it. They closed the chambers off and sealed up other chambers, and then sealed the outside completely. The ancient alien part of your soul is, well, she's talking about me, is very well aware of these beings. You knew that they had hidden a certain type of technology beyond our current understanding. It's just 3-4 more slides, maybe 15. All right. Reader number 5. There was a healing chamber down there at one point. This was a place where the energy was just right to speed healing of the body. The hallways are about moving the energy in a different. They use something like a laser to curve out the area. Reader number 6. The tunnels are very extensive. There is a main room. If you continue to the left, you're going to find what you're looking for: peace, no resistance, purpose. You will find artifacts, symbol structures. The tunnels were closed by a later generation because what was in there was sacred to them. Now it's time to discover this. Purpose of underground labyrinth: healing facility to keep what is the most sacred and most valuable to us: our health and prolonged life. In the tunnels above and below the ground, you'll find more info on our website about the volunteers, how to apply for the summer camp. We want them to help us to clean what is today known as the biggest pyramid covered with soil, so one day can be again uncovered the biggest and the oldest pyramid of all. Thank you very much.